concrete monster.
That is, hold your line here. Hold your line. Middle is good. Shoot the middle. Clear to the bottom. You got it. You got it. Oh, no. Okay, buddy. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Just like in real life NASCAR, each track requires a different setup, so we've supplied that to you in the game. So if you're a casual player or you haven't got time to play with the setups, you can just jump in there and straight away you're going to be up to speed.
For me, when I play the game, the setups we provide are perfectly adequate. But for the people who are really into the cars and into the settings, they'll be able to use the advanced tuning setups to really tweak those fine details and get slightly quicker lap times.
That will allow you to change any aspect of a NASCAR stock car that you can do in real life.
You can actually create tuning setups per track if you so wish, and as you go into any given race you can actually pick which tuning setup you want to use, so you can actually have a big array of different setups for different tracks.
New for this year is the ability to share setups online. You'll be able to enter your setup, also review other people's setup, rate them, and hopefully produce the perfect setup for each track.
Pit stopping is a big factor in NASCAR, and obviously we want to represent that in the game. If you really want to get involved in an endurance race, kind of like 20 plus laps, you've got to be looking at your fuel consumption, your tyre wear, your damage, your handling, and then it comes down to like when to pit and when to save your fuel. You can adjust individual tyre pressure, wedge and track bar adjustments. Adjustments you make in the pit stall also affects the motion capture that you're seeing as well from the team.
We wanted the pit stops in game to be completely authentic, so we soon realised that the only way to do this was actually to go and motion capture a team. We were lucky enough that Roush Fenway allowed us to use their number 17 Matt Kenseth crew to actually go and record them in real life.
These guys are doing pit stops day in, day out, and they know their stuff, and for us it was the natural choice. Motion capture works. Basically, it's a digital way of recording physical movement, and that data is captured digitally and allows us to map the information, the movement, onto a 3D model.
It's so realistic that it defies the imagination.
I thought I was watching a video. I thought I was watching an actual video of the race when I first started watching it.
The most important thing we were trying to get across to the fans was the sense of spectacle and event.
The game features everything that players would expect from a real NASCAR event. Just like being a real NASCAR driver, if you win a race in career mode in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, you'll keep your sponsors happy, you'll earn bonuses and incentives there. You'll also move up in the standings as well. But you can celebrate at the end of a race as well, so you can do burnouts on the track, run a lap in reverse, spin your tyres up against the wall, pull off like cool donuts. And obviously doing that earns NXP as well, which helps you rank up and gain other rewards. The game also features victory lane celebrations as well. So after a race win, you'll see your driver celebrating on the top of his car. Everyone's throwing drinks around, his team's there congratulating him, fans are cheering, the press are there capturing pictures, even with Sprint Cups there as well in the background.
One thing we were extremely keen to do is to make sure that we had a 3D paint booth that was accessible to all. Everybody loves to put stripes on their cars, nice big number on the side, their favourite sponsors, and then take that on track, show it to their friends online.
Styling is a big part of the game, and people want to have that kind of the bragging rights online and show off the different paint schemes to their friends.
We've revolutionised the way that this works compared to any other game.
The decal shop in the game really offers players complete freedom to create the decals that they want. We've put a range of amazing tools into the game, including the ability to type text and then change that into a decal, to colour your decals using gradients, so you can do a gradient blend of 2 colours. We've created our own proprietary 3D surface technology where players can manipulate decals and style them and scale them and skew them and colour them all in 3D. There's no sides to the car, so you can literally pan the camera around as you're editing the paint scheme and adding new decals and manipulating the graphics that you've got. We've learnt through other games that we've created and really listened to the forums and the community and what the NASCAR fans would like to do with their own paint schemes as well.
You can do anything you want essentially, and it's all very accessible, very easy and very intuitive.
I think if there's one word that I would have to use to sum up this experience, it's complete.
The 43 car limit is a big thing, and just getting the physics running for the 43 cars has been challenging in itself.
By far the biggest difference working on NASCAR has been the sheer number of cars. I mean, it's more than double the number we've had before. That makes everything more complicated. The AI needs to work faster, the physics needs to be more optimal. But at the same time, it makes for a much more compelling racing experience, because even halfway down the field you'll be having battles for 22nd place, and there's still 21 cars to go when you actually win that race, and that's really cool.
We've got to know the drivers quite a lot. You know, we've met them, we've watched them race. The cars aren't just controlled by the computer, we've given them personalities. So we've matched the drivers in the game to the actual drivers on track. So if the driver's a little bit more aggressive, for instance, then he will be more aggressive in the game. But likewise, what we've also done is towards the end of the race, the whole aggression level steps up. So they're not just competing as if they were at lap 1, but now they know the race is nearly over and now they have to start making some moves.
We take many hundreds of photographs of the cars. We've visited all the race teams, we've been to the factories, we've photographed the cars, we've got the AI files for the vinyls, we photographed every single interior so that we'd go to that level of detail where, you know, the driver can get in and say, yeah, that's my setup. I think in total, with all the variations from the primaries, secondaries, third and fourth vinyls, we'll have something like 150 different variations of all the cars in game.
What Technics has been able to do with the products out there, I mean, you really are hard pressed to determine what's real and what's the video game. I mean, they've come along that far and they're that realistic.
Coming to the green. Be on your toes, buddy. Clear. Your car's faster than his. Let's get around him. It worked with you. Easy now. Don't slam him. Got one up high. If you're catching them, we're going to get these boys. Alright, be ready. They're saying some debris on the track. He's waving you on. Let's bump drafting. Nice drafting. Clear now. Brake control, man. Now slingshot pass when you're ready. You got this, buddy. Your rival is all the way in the back. You're all clear. You're doing an awesome job today, buddy. Nice drafting now. Make the pass. Okay, now work together. Nice and smooth. Steady to the turn. You're clear. He'll work with you, man. It takes time, no mistakes. You're faster than he is. Let's get around him. Don't worry, your rival's way back. Clear, clear. Great call. Way to draft him down there. Go on, buddy. Now slingshot around. Clear all around. Buddy, I bet it's hotter up here than it is down there.
When Technics first got the NASCAR license, we knew that we had a huge responsibility not only to NASCAR and the teams and the drivers, but to the fans of the sport.
NASCAR The Game 2011 contains all the races from the current Sprint Cup season, so you can play all 36 events.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is the game's core career mode. Players can pick whoever they want to be, from Jeff Gordon to Jimmy Johnson to Mark Martin, even Danica Patrick's in the game. Players can play through career mode as themselves, a fictional driver, and rename the driver to their name, pick their own team name, pick their own car and their own paint schemes. If you're playing through as yourself, you have the opportunity to acquire and impress different sponsors, and then through that reap different rewards. Even the cutscenes before the event we've included in the game as well, so you can see flybys and Blue Angels, all the spectacle that builds up an event.
You also have invitational races, gauntlet races, eliminator mode, but then you've just got quick race as well, which just allows you to jump in, play a race, take on all 42 other drivers, and just have some great fun.
You can pick up the game and play it. You can race it and have a lot of fun if you've never seen the sport of NASCAR before, or if you're the most ardent NASCAR fan in the world and you've played every NASCAR racing game that's ever been invented, then you'll enjoy this one too, because it's going to have everything you'd expect and a lot more.
NASCAR The Game 2011 is the only place you're going to get the true, authentic NASCAR experience.
The coolest aspect was telling my kids that I was going to be a voice on the game.
One of the most important aspects of NASCAR is obviously the spotter, and we've gone to great lengths to reproduce this in game.
Come on, man, you have to pit this last.
We got Ty Norris to be the player's spotter in the game, who used to originally spot for Dale Earnhardt. And that was really exciting to work with him. Your spotter's always in your ear, advising you when to pit, when to save your fuel, what everyone else is doing in the race, how it's affecting your standings.
And I'm really concerned about your fuel. When I first started spotting, I fired myself after the very first practice session because I was too excited. So what I've tried to do is sort of reflect back on certain situations and try to bring some of that emotion back, because, you know, these gamers, they want to be excited, they don't want to hear a monotone voice.
One of the things that was very exciting for us and very important as well was to capture that intensity and the passion and immersion into a NASCAR event. We wanted the fans of the sport to feel like they do at the real events, so we've got the pre-race shows and the commentary from the Performance Racing Network guys.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Daytona. It's an absolute gorgeous afternoon.
It's nice to be able to share the joy of what we do, because when we hop in that broadcast booth and put on those headsets and it's time to go, there's not a better feeling in the world. That is the place that you want to be.
Well, the most fun was just sort of making this stuff up on the fly.
The Aflac Ford flight, end over end over end. Oh, the humanity. No, I didn't know where I was going.
So getting into a studio like that and having fun. I mean, we had a blast doing this.
They brought this energy to the game that's immense and just makes for a truly authentic experience.
Technics has done for the first time is, one, have a game that includes 43 drivers that are racing at one time. That's never happened before. We're also going to have every track that we race at in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. That hasn't happened before. So when you know, just those two things alone is something that'll be really new and exciting for the fans or anybody who picks up this game. When they're watching NASCAR events on TV and they see that we're going to Kentucky for the first time in 2011, Kentucky's in the game. You know, that's something, you know, we're really going to be racing that track before the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series drivers ever set foot on that track.
NASCAR The Game 2011 features 23 tracks, 22 tracks that are run in the official NASCAR Sprint Cup Series plus Kentucky.
We've been supplied by the track people themselves, CAD data, survey data. You know, if there's a bump on turn 4, for instance, you're going to get that bump on turn 4. The accuracy of the track banking, again, is fully modelled, and we have telemetry data that we've been able to run to verify that the tracks really are exactly as they are in real life.
We've had the opportunity to drive around the tracks in the pace cars and feel how every part of the track feels.
And on top of that, we have to add another layer of photographic reference. So we'll send our guys out who will sequentially photograph the entire track.
We sent a team of photographers out there who took thousands and thousands of photo reference images, including the track textures, the grandstands, all the outbuildings, basically everything that we needed to come back here and recreate a very accurate version of that track.
When I first saw the game, that's the one thing that stood out immediately. It was all of the details, whether it was a bump, whether it was a seam in the racetrack or a particular sign that drivers use as their lift points and as their marks when they're racing. Everything was there, and that was remarkable.
The most important thing we were trying to get across to the fans was the sense of spectacle and event, and the way that the drivers are almost gladiators in the way that they battle.
The thrills, and I will say spills of NASCAR really is what makes the sport.
The damage system in the game is kind of unprecedented to what any kind of NASCAR gamer or racing gamer has ever seen before.
We kind of started off by watching all kinds of videos of wrecks in the various races. And whilst obviously they were quite complex, the actual results of the collision, there were certain things we noticed that we'd like to reproduce.
You see cars literally getting torn apart and metal getting ripped like cloth. Bits that fall off the car, bits of debris in a crash. They're not just kind of generic triangles, they're actually bits of the car that'll fall off the car and litter the track. That's one of the most exciting things to do, and I think something that the NASCAR kind of fans are going to appreciate and in a way kind of expect.
It's quite good to just pause the game, look at the replay, wind it back and see how it all unfolds.
The damage assessment that you get, if there's a crash, it looks like what a crash looks like in real life. The sheet metal peels back, and there's a realism to this game that I really think is unsurpassed in the gaming world.
We feel our heartbeats and the sound.
Built the game from the very ground up, using the information and the insight that we gathered to understand what was going to be great and what was going to be different.
When you play this on your own, there's plenty of options. We have the track testing mode where you can learn the tracks, and in the career mode you've got the full season with your practice, your qualifying, your races.
You can play through career mode as Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson or Mark Martin or any of your favourite NASCAR veterans they're all going to be available in the game. Or you can play as yourself and create your own team name, rename your driver to you.
One of the things that blew me away about what Technics has done is the AI part of the game, where they've got these drivers racing like our real drivers. So if you're on the track and you're behind Kyle Busch or he's behind you, which is probably a little bit more intimidating, but he's going to drive like Kyle Busch, so he's probably going to be a pretty aggressive character on the track just like he is in real life. And that's something that we really haven't captured in games before.
We've got verse mode as well and split screen, online racing. We've got kind of eliminator modes as well.
If you've got internet connection and you're on PS3 or 360, you can of course use the online features. It's bumper to bumper stuff like we've never seen before. You've got the full damage model. We've got all your custom liveries you create in the game in the vinyl tool. It's just an all-round fun experience.
When fun wears off, people stop doing it, and I don't see how that's going to wear off with this game.